Hello, nerds. We have a big show, a really big show. We've got honestly huge. We've got some Daft Punk in music news. Yes, please. We've got Goosebumps coming to television. We have an update on that Silver Sable Black Cat movie. We have a little bit of gaming news with Halo. We have a little bit of comic book news with there's more comic book news than gaming news. And we have a rumor mill on top of it. That's actually the rumor mill of the usually large sections. The rumor mill is very much small by comparison. So for all of that and a little bit more, let's hit the intro and then we'll get to the news. Okay, nerds, we have a little bit of housekeeping to get out of the way. Just a reminder that at Monday the 4th is my girlfriend's birthday, so Tuesday the 5th we will not be having an episode. That's right, we will only do one episode next week, so it's going to very likely be a large episode. This is your fair warning. Not that today's episode is going to be small by any means, but you know, it is the way of things. So yeah, Monday, May 4th, not doing research, not doing any of the prep for the show because Tuesday, May 5th is not happening. So that being all of the housekeeping we have, we're going to jump right into the music news like we do. And this dang light is going to drive me crazy. Sorry, it's on the fritz and it's driving me insane. Okay, so music news. First and foremost, we have an awesome update from Daft Punk. They will be scoring another movie, which is always a good sign, at least for the soundtrack. The movie is it is what it is. Dario Argento has been lucky enough to be selected. He did not even ask them. They asked him. They heard he was working on a new horror movie. They said, we want to be part of it. And they gave him a phone call and he said, yes, please. How much do I owe you? So the name of the new movie will be Black Glasses. It is, again, a horror movie, so I'm super excited to see what Daft Punk can bring to the horror audio palette. That's all we have on that piece. Now we're going to move next over to Clutch. This one's just a real quickie piece on Clutch. You should go check out their YouTube channel because they've been doing fairly regularly. They've been doing live sets, 3-song sets, and it's just Clutch at their grooviest, man. Go check it out. Link to their YouTube channel is in the description. Next, we have a really interesting update from Corey Taylor. Corey Taylor is, for those of you that don't know, and I don't know how you wouldn't know at this point, Corey Taylor's the vocalist for Slipknot and Stone Sour. He is auctioning off some instruments, some signed instruments for COVID charity, for COVID relief. He will be auctioning off a gold metallic Gibson Memphis Dave Grohl Signature, the DG335. It is number 237 out of the 400 in perfect condition, I guess. He will also be auctioning off a gold top Gibson Classic Les Paul, a tan Fender Acoustic, a pearl blue Gibson Dave Grohl Signature number 87 out of 200, and a black SDGR Bass. So all of these instruments can be found on eBay. Corey Taylor's eBay page, I guess they're called, eBay store. That's what I was looking for. You can find all of them over on Corey Taylor's eBay store. All you got to search is Corey Taylor on eBay and you'll find it. That's awesome. I didn't catch exactly which COVID-19 relief fund he's going to be supporting through these auctions, but either way, it's bound to raise a lot of money. Next, we are talking about Born of Osiris. Born of Osiris, for those that don't know, is a kind of new wave of American heavy metal thing, kind of sort of gent as well. I don't know, they're just great heavy music, so if you like heavy things, then you should perk your ears up just a little bit right now because they have officially turned in their next record to Sumerian Records, their record label, Sumerian Records. It is not set for release just yet. There are things that they have to finalize, but the music has been sent in, so very likely, probably towards the end of all the COVID stuff, we will be seeing some new music from Born of Osiris. Super awesome. We'll definitely be talking about as they release singles and stuff. We'll probably be doing reaction analyses for that. Stay tuned and moving on. Next, we're talking about Linkin Park. again, due to coronavirus shutdown and such, this is another band that is working on new material. Which is kind of significant because they haven't put out any new material since the passing of Chester Bennington. We know this is actually happening because their bassist, Dave Farrell, was doing an interview very recently. And he said that that with the shutdown, they actually had started working on, before the shutdown, they had started working on new music together. Now that everything is shut down, they're doing like they've done in the past and just sending around demo ideas to one another and then working on it from that angle, which is kind of awesome. I'm really interested to hear what they have to offer without Chester. Sad times and whatnot. So that's pretty cool. We're going to be keeping tabs on that. And then our final piece in music is Goatslayer. What is Goatslayer, you might be asking? Probably not. But I'm going to tell you anyway. So Goatslayer is another side project that Wes Borland is doing with his brother. Apparently this one has been going for a long time. And now they have 28 albums worth of material that is going to be released, and they have released the first of those 28. It is called The Feathered Serpent, and I haven't listened to it yet. I will be listening to it soon, though. Though in other Wes Borland news, if you have not yet listened to the demos for Eat the Day, you really, really should, because that demos record is something special, man. I would love to pick that man's musical brain for sure someday. That is a bucket list interview for absolute certain. I love that man's musicality and just Wes Borland is brilliant. That is all we have in music, though. Let's talk TV streaming. So first up in TV streaming, we have something of an update. I can't remember how long ago it was that we talked about this, but Hellraiser, the TV series that is going to HBO Max, they just landed a director for the pilot and presumably a couple other episodes for the first season in David Gordon Green, who is currently doing the Halloween movies and did the Halloween reboot. And this also is not a reboot of the franchise, this series. This is existing inside of the already existing franchise, but also somehow has nothing to do with the new movie that's in the works. So maybe the new movie is a reboot or a retelling of some sort, and that's why it's very interesting that the two won't be connected, but the series is connected to the other movie. I don't know. The legality of making movies and things in Hollywood is a little bonkers, I'm not going to lie. So that's really awesome, though that is all we have there. So we're moving next over to The Orville, and we just got word from Jonathan Frakes. Actually, we got a couple of things from Jonathan Frakes in an interview that he did with, I believe it was with comicbook.com. Yes, with comicbook.com. Jonathan Frakes said that he wants to be in season 3 of The Orville, which is really awesome, though not generally the kind of news we cover here on the show. There is more to this, though. He also said in the same interview that he will not be directing. He has directed a couple of episodes in the past, one from season 1, I believe it was episode 5, and one from season 2, I believe was episode 8. He is a very well-experienced, well-seasoned director. He's done some Star Trek stuff. He's directed quite a bit. He's lent his voice to some animation and such, so he is kind of a nerd staple at this point. But he said that he will not be directing anything in season 3 because they made the decision to only stick with 2 directors for the season. Those 2 directors are going to be, and the first one's kind of obvious, Seth MacFarlane. He is producer, star, writer, just all around. He is the Orville. But also John Cassar, who is also a producer on the show and has directed a number of episodes in the past as well. They will be directing all of the episodes for season 3. And just a reminder, season 3 will be exclusively on Hulu. So if you don't have a subscription, because you, for whatever reason, don't have a Disney Plus subscription, which you're like one of 2 people in the world, then you should probably do that because it's going to be awesome. It's going to be so great. If you like Star Trek, then this is the Star Trek that never was. And it's I don't know how to. If you like Star Trek, you'll like the Orville. If you haven't watched the Orville yet, then you really probably should. So that's what that's what we have for that piece. Now we're moving next into Frasier, which is again not normally something we talk about on the show, but I am a huge Frasier head. I've seen probably every episode at least a half a dozen times, and so we just got an announcement because there was a reunion in the works before everything shut down. We just got an announcement from Perry Gilpin, who played Roz on the show, that the reunion is still in the works in spite of all of the coronavirus shutdown stuff. No news as to how it's been set back because of the coronavirus. She just said, don't worry, it's still coming. So real quickie update there. And then our final piece in TV streaming has to do with Goosebumps. We are getting a new Goosebumps series over somewhere on Sony television. It hasn't been announced exactly where Sony is going to put it out, which platform they're going to release it on, but we are getting a new Goosebumps series from the producer that gave us the two movies that starred Jack Black, Neil M. Moritz. He will be turning the $2 billion franchise into another TV series. This will be the second time that this property has been turned into a TV series. What remains to be seen and what's kind of still up in the air is exactly how this TV series is what kind of TV series it's going to be, I guess. Because the movies, again starring Jack Black, just kind of mashed everything together and wasn't really any one particular story told by R.L. Stine, but it was more about R.L. Stine in a fictitious way. Whereas the original series from the 90s, the Goosebumps series, was much more like the Are You Afraid of the Dark series in that it was anthological. So each episode was a standalone story, and R.L. Stine himself kind of stood in and opened each episode, much like Rod Serling did for The Twilight Zone. I would be surprised if the TV series turned out to be more like the movies and less like the original TV series. I honestly anticipate this going to be another anthology series, and also very likely going to be released, if it's Sony doing it, I don't know what their output is. Netflix, maybe, I think, is their streaming output. They don't have their own streaming service yet, but I'm sure that's only a matter of time. That is all we have in TV streaming, so let's move now to movies. We got a new update on Matrix 4. Yes, it is still in development. Matrix 4, we will not be seeing Joe Pantoliano as Cypher in the new movie. Apparently, he has been asking Lana Wachowski to let him in the movie for some time, and he's been getting stonewalled. She hasn't responded to him in any shape or fashion. So needless to say, that's a very strong indication. Not to say that it's 100% for sure at this point, because I'm sure there's still a little bit of wiggle room, but they are in the middle of production and they just kind of had to shut down for COVID. So very likely, I guess I should say, not going to see Joe Pantoliano as Cypher in the new Matrix movie. That's all we have there. So we're moving now into Silver Sable and Black Cat, the Silver and Black movie that we've been keeping tabs on ever since it was announced 2 years ago. That movie is now, it seems, not happening at all. So for a while it was going to be Silver and Black, and then they split it up and they said, well, these two characters are strong enough, we could give them each their own movie. And now Gina Prince Bythewood, who is the director and I believe writer, or no, she is the writer, and I believe she's also the director, maybe. She was quoted in an interview saying recently that it is not going to be happening at all, and if it does happen, then it's possibly going to become a series on some TV streaming app. That is all we have there. Now we're going to move, staying on the Sony side of things, we're moving into a new Disney MCU update as far as the release dates go, because Sony just announced their Spider-Man release dates, and that has forced Marvel to move some of their release dates. So we're just going to go through these real quick, and then we'll kind of get in a little bit more detail. We have Spider-Man 3 has been announced as November 5th, 2021, which means they had to move Doctor Strange to March 25th of 2022. And then Thor 4 to February 11th of 2022. And the new Spider-Verse movie was also announced by Sony. is now October 7th of 2022. That one's kind of inconsequential to the MCU at large, but it's still significant to talk about. They announced a number of other ones too, but these were just the most significant. Because of this, like I said, they had to move Thor and they had to move Doctor Strange. Now Doctor Strange is going to be the end of Phase 4, whereas Thor used to be the end of Phase 4. This is a lot of movement, man, and it's because Sony did this announcement, because I didn't write down the original release dates, and I apologize, but it was a few months worth of even more pushbacks, and so the Feige's Phase 4 is getting a little tweaked, man. Interesting, though, having Doctor Strange be the end of Phase 4 because of all the rumors surrounding all of the introductions to characters we are theoretically going to be getting in that movie. It kind of sets up an interesting place for Phase 5 to begin, and then if Thor actually would be before it because it's in February and Doctor Strange is in March. Either way, having Doctor Strange be the end of Phase 4 just sets up a very interesting beginning for Phase 5. So very likely that will be our introduction to mutants. It will be the beginning of Phase 5 because we'll get teased at the end of Phase 4, would be my bet. And now we have our final piece in movies, and that has to do with YouTube. So YouTube just announced that they are going to be doing a digital film festival on their platform. Not to be outdone by Amazon, who just teamed up with South by Southwest's film festival. YouTube teamed up with 20 other film festivals that are not going to be happening because of lockdown, because of coronavirus lockdowns. One of the 20 is Cannes. The Cannes Film Festival will be in some way digital. It's going to be a 10-day event on YouTube. The name of the channel is going to be We Are One Global Film Festival. That's the name of the film festival and also name of the channel. And it's, like I said, it's going to be 10 days long, starting May 29th and going for 10 days from there. It's just Sundance, Tribeca, like every huge film festival is partnering with YouTube in order to go digital. Again, I don't know exactly how it's going to be laid out. I don't think anybody really knows how it's going to be laid out, but it is going to be 100% free to everyone in the world who has a YouTube account, and is also going to be commercial free. So it will not have ad breaks in any of the films that you can watch for this film festival, which is freaking significant, man. We're getting so much awesome stuff. Part of me still is like, maybe we could stand to be locked down a little longer, but I am in a much more comfortable place than most people because I am still working during the lockdown. So I only say that because we are getting great content, not because I want people to not have jobs. But yes, that is everything in movies. So now we can talk briefly, ever so briefly, about gaming. We have a Halo Infinite update. It will not be exclusively on the Series X platform. It will also be launching on PC and the Xbox One. So fear not, if you don't plan on getting a Series X off the jump, then you will still be able to get the newest Halo game, Halo Infinite. I was such a relief when I read that, because I don't plan on getting a Series X until I can afford it, and that's likely to be another year or two before I can do that. So that I will, however, get the new Halo game when it launches, because I'm a Halo nerd. That's all we have in gaming, though. Now we're going to be talking about comic books. We have a really awesome update about the Ninja Turtles, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, that is. Though this one, it would no longer be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, it'd just be middle-aged Mutant Ninja Turtles. So Kevin Eastman and his creative partner, Laird, they are returning to the Ninja Turtles for the first time, I believe, in 20 years together. They've both been back in some shape or fashion before this, but not together. So they will be teaming up on this new book called The Last Ronin. And we've seen some of the artwork for it. And the Last Ronin is the last surviving turtle. We don't know which turtle it is. If it's even one of the main four, Lord only knows. There could be some crazy plot contrivance that has created a younger turtle. But it is set, I believe they said 20 years in the future. And it's kind of like an old man turtle kind of situation. So Old Man Logan, right? So it's set in the future and everybody's dead. And it's this one guy going off. This one turtle is presumably going to avenge the deaths or the loss of his family. Just looks so awesome. But that's all we have right there. So for now, next is a real quick update from Diamond Distribution. Come the end of May, they do plan on shipping comic books to comic book shops once again. At this point, it might be a little too late because it sounds like everyone is finding alternative ways to send their books to comic book shops. Though Diamond has all the tracking on all of the extra perks, so maybe everyone will just go back to Diamond once they reopen. I don't know. I don't know that it's necessary that we go back to Diamond, but that's just me, and that's all we have on that piece. So our next piece is our final piece for comic books, and that is Tank Girl. Tank Girl is coming back to comic book shelves. That's right. Albatross Funny Books has signed a contract with the original creator of these stories, and it will be, there is no official date for it just yet, but it will be sometime before the end of 2020. So that's pretty freaking exciting. That is, though, all we have for comic books. Let's talk some rumors, guys. All right, we have Guardian Devil. Kevin Smith's epic book is getting teased to potentially be getting a sequel. Kevin Smith is being super tight-lipped about it, though he has kind of sort of said a couple of things, but the biggest pieces have been coming from Joe Quesada, who is the artist on the book. He's been taking to his socials. Actually, he talked to Kevin Smith on his YouTube channel, and so there's been a lot of rumblings and a lot of really interesting stuff. We might be getting a sequel to Guardian Devil, which could be... Kevin Smith's writing is actually really hit and miss, though this book is easily one of the best Daredevil books, let alone one of the best Kevin Smith books. So next we're talking about Bright 2, the movie that got a sequel immediately after it went to Netflix, even though it got largely panned by almost everybody who saw it. It wasn't a great movie. It wasn't terrible, though. Like, I don't understand why it gets as much hate as it does, but it wasn't great either. It is now reportedly looking to cast Angelina Jolie as the villain for their sequel, again, to 2017's probably most panned movie. Though, again, I didn't have a huge issue with it. It just wasn't anything special, I guess. Anyway, so that's what we have there. And now we're moving over to Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. This rumor is kind of big because it would put Arnold Schwarzenegger on screen alongside Sylvester Stallone. It looks like James Gunn is trying to bring in Arnold Schwarzenegger as one of the Ravagers for Volume 3, which could be kind of awesome, but I would imagine it would just be a real quick, 2-minute screen time cameo. That's all we have on that one. And our last rumor, like I said, rumor section, kind of small this episode. Last rumor is the Batman. The rumor actually is multi-layered because it's saying that the Flash movie is not only... let me rephrase that. Not only are we getting the Flash movie is going to be retconning a lot of things, but one of those things specifically, and we've talked about this in the rumor section at least once or twice before, specifically one of the things getting retconned is the death of the Black Mask from Harley Quinn. Because they want to put Black Mask in Batman movies going forward. And how can they do that if he's dead? And again, because this is the rumor, then it is also presumed that this version of the Black Mask will be Ewan McGregor's version that we saw in the Harley Quinn movie. So I can kind of get behind that. I would like to see what they can do with this very unique version of the Black Mask. He's definitely not the version of the Black Mask that you ever read in the comic books. Not even kind of the same guy, but not a bad villain nonetheless. So if this one is true, then I'm kind of interested. My interest is piqued, let's say. But that's all we've got for rumors, guys. And all we have for the episodes. What did I miss? What should we talk about in the next one? Let me know in the comments down below. If, though, you want to go deeper into the conversation, jump over to the website, jump over to the Patreon, all of those places. Website is generallynerdy.net. Patreon is patreon.com/generallynerdy. Support, get more content, or just check the website for the written content and so on and so forth. So check out all of the things, guys. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Smash the thumbs up button, use the batarang, and just throw it. Don't throw it at your screen. You might break something. Just press it with your finger. That should be totally fine. Click one of the two boxes right here below my face so you can see other things happening on the channel. Before we go, though, guys, always remember that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here.